Broken Horizons 100, It's Coming for You. Prologue. By David Evanson. The office light is too white. Clinical. Aggressive. It has that artificial tone of places where nothing is supposed to die, yet everything eventually withers anyway. I push the report away with my fingertips. The plastic slides against my clammy skin. The numbers blur, the lines double, refuse to stay still. I blink. Once. Twice. Nothing changes. I can't do this anymore. 48 hours I've been reading the same projections. The same cell growth curves spiking where they shouldn't. The same inexplicable anomalies. My brain refuses to process the information. It just slides off like water on glass. My gaze drifts to the small holographic frame at the edge of my desk. The only splash of color in this sterile universe of gray and white. I tap the activation console. The video starts with a familiar soft crackle. My granddaughter blows out her 2 candles. She laughs, cheeks puffed with effort, eyes squeezed shut in concentration. She hesitates, looks for someone off camera, then leans forward, little arms reaching toward the lens. Toward me. Except I wasn't there. Once again, I wasn't there. Just 3 more weeks, I whisper, tracing the image with my fingertips, as if the gesture could somehow bridge the distance. 3 weeks, sweetheart. Then Grandma comes home. I make this promise to myself every day. Sometimes multiple times a day, depending on how heavy the guilt weighs. A fragile mantra to convince myself. A rational superstition for a woman who spent her life believing only in facts. It's the only thing that lets me endure the silences on the phone. The missed calls piling up. The evasive answers when people ask where I am exactly, what I'm doing exactly, why I can never say when I'm really coming back. Freyja Station. An elegant code name for an administrative black hole. A dizzying stack of signatures, security protocols, exceptional waivers I've validated over the months. Every step signed off. Every delay approved. Every risk rationalized with a scientific coldness I didn't know I was capable of. I'm a prisoner of my own decisions. I stand abruptly, shoving my chair back too hard. It hits the wall behind me with a dull thud. Guilt is a slow poison that eats you from the inside. I need coffee, black, scalding, bitter enough to remind me I'm still alive and capable of feeling something other than this emotional anesthesia. I take 3 steps toward the door. The world explodes. A piercing siren lances through my skull like a white-hot blade. The floor vibrates violently beneath my feet, a deep pulse that travels up through my legs. The white lights snap to emergency red, strobing at a rhythm that matches the frantic pounding of my heart too well. Alert. Security breach. Automatic containment procedures engaged. The station's synthetic voice repeats the phrase in a loop, relentless, indifferent. The air suddenly thickens, harder to breathe. My stomach clenches hard. This isn't a drill. I know it before my brain even dares to admit it. I've been through too many drills not to recognize the difference. There's something in the urgency of the vibrations, in the slightly off pitch of the alarm. Something real. Something very bad. I reach the door in 2 strides. The control panel blinks angry red. / containment active. I punch in my security code. My fingers shake on the touch interface. / access denied. A wave of cold panic washes through me. I enter my priority override code as chief scientist, the one that should open every door on this station. / access denied. / level 4 containment. / military personnel only. Come on, open up, you piece of shit, I hiss through clenched teeth. I throw myself at the wall console, frantically trying to force a connection to the control center, to get answers, to silence that unbearable siren grinding into my temples. My ears are already ringing. An acrid smell of overheated plastic begins to drift through the recycled air. The main screen flickers for several agonizing seconds. A ghostly image finally appears, pixelated, unstable. It's not Colonel Mitchell. It's a kid. A soldier too young to be here, eyes too wide in a smooth face that's never seen real combat. Panic lurks beneath the thin veneer of military discipline learned by rote. Transfer me to Colonel Mitchell immediately, I order, trying to keep my voice steady. Ma'am, we're in an emergency containment situation. All civilian personnel must remain at their stations and... I'm Dr. Kati Takala. I cut him off sharply. I run this research program. Get me Ben Mitchell. Now. He swallows visibly. His Adam's apple bobs nervously. Yes, ma'am. One moment. The official Freyja logo appears, rotating slowly on the screen. An administrative eternity of a few seconds that feels like hours. Then Ben's familiar face finally materializes. Sweating, covered in gray dust. Armed figures run behind him in the frame, blurred, panicked. Secondary alarms wail off camera, closer than mine, more chaotic, more visceral. Ben, what the hell is happening? He doesn't even look at me. His eyes scan something off-screen, probably a control display. Kati, where? You're in your office? Yes. And I'm locked in. The doors won't respond to my codes. Good. Perfect. Stay exactly where you are. That's the safest place right now. An extraction team is already en route to escort you to the bunker. An icy ball forms in my gut. Ben, what happened? He clenches his jaw. I see the muscles in his neck tighten. We have a problem, Kati. The specimen in Lab C7. Colonel, we've lost contact with Bravo team. The voice comes from somewhere behind him, male, tight with urgency. I see his jaw clench harder. His gaze hardens for a moment, then wavers almost imperceptibly. It's a micro-movement I should never have been able to detect in a man as controlled as him. Shit, he breathes. He finally looks at me. Really, directly in the eyes. And for the first time in 10 years of working together, for the first time since I've known him, I see something completely naked cross his face. Pure terror. I have to go now, Kati. Don't move. Don't leave. Whatever happens, you stay in that office until we come for you. Understood? Ben, what? The screen cuts to black abruptly. Silence drops like a lead weight. Heavy, sticky, oppressive, as if the station itself is holding its breath, waiting for something inevitable. Even the siren seems distant now, muffled by my office's reinforced walls. I take an instinctive step back, then another. I stare at the reinforced glass door separating me from the corridor. I can't just stay here waiting like a mouse in a trap. I can't. I grab my desk chair with both hands and hurl it with all my strength at the glass. The violent impact resonates up my arms, into my shoulders. The chair bounces off without leaving even the slightest mark, the smallest crack. Multi-layer reinforced glass. Of course. I approved the security specifications myself. Congratulations, Kati. You just trapped yourself. Then I hear them. Screams. Indistinct at first, then clearer. Running footsteps pounding the floor. Orders shouted in a language of war I don't understand. A sharp, brutal gunshot, followed almost immediately by a burst of automatic weapons fire that cracks like thunder contained within the corridor walls. Help! I scream, pounding both fists against the glass. Hey! I'm in here! A second burst answers me. Closer. Much closer. The impacts violently star the corridor wall directly across from my office. The floor vibrates under my feet. The acrid, metallic smell of gunpowder creeps insidiously into my office. I throw myself to the floor without thinking, crawling under my desk like a hunted animal, hands clamped over my head. Dust kicked up by the impact scrapes my throat raw. The noise is absolutely deafening, physically painful. Then, as abruptly as it started, the silence returns. Total silence. Absolute. Worse than the noise. I stay huddled under my desk, paralyzed. I count to 60. Slowly. Each number is an effort of concentration to keep from screaming. I finally stand, legs trembling. The corridor in front of me is empty. Completely empty. Bam! A bloodied hand slams violently against the glass inches from my face. Fresh blood slides slowly down the window, leaving a dark, viscous trail. I let out a strangled cry and stumble backward. A soldier appears in my field of vision. He staggers, barely catches himself against the wall. He presses his left arm against his chest, his tactical suit saturated with dark red spreading relentlessly. His breathing is short, wheezing, labored. He punches an emergency code into the exterior panel with a shaking hand. The door opens with a pneumatic hiss. Dr. Takala, you need to come with me. Now. His voice is strained, almost broken with effort. I back away instinctively, my hands searching for the edge of my desk behind me. I was told to wait for the official extraction team, Colonel Mitchell said. He looks at me the way you look at someone who doesn't yet understand it's already far too late for protocols. I am the extraction team, ma'am. He pauses, breathing hard. Well, what's left of it? He throws a quick glance over his shoulder, toward the growing darkness of the corridor behind him. The emergency lights flicker erratically. Something seems to move in the shadowy areas, or maybe it's just my imagination running wild. We need to get to the main bunker. Now. I can't protect you here. What exactly is happening, Corporal? My voice trembles despite myself. He stares at me for a long moment. His eyes are those of a man who's already seen his own death. What I read in his gaze isn't fear. It's something far worse. It's absolute certainty. The thing from Lab C7, ma'am. The specimen. He swallows hard. It broke free, and it's coming for you. Broken Horizons is a reader-supported publication. To receive new posts and support my work, consider becoming a free or paid subscriber.